Hello and welcome to Where the Living Room Used to Be, a podcast about Rhode Island's music scene. All right, well, here we are, RI5.
RI5.
Paul Dube. What is or was your favorite Rhode Island record store?
My go-to for many years was Tom's Tracks.
Yeah.
Up on the east side.
Why is that?
Well, it was available to me. I was more familiar with it. I was working in Providence at the time. You get your paycheck and you just go buy some records at Tom's, Yeah. And, Tom's always had some radio comp records or something like that. And there was ways you could experiment. There were the records that you went to buy because that's what you went to buy. But it's nice to be able to experiment.
Just discover some stuff while you were there. Yeah.
And with that in mind, two of the record venues that I got the most out of before Tom's. Now, Tom's, that was when I was, able to work for a living and that stuff. But when I was younger, I lived in Tiverton, and there was a flea market on Booger Marsh Road. I don't know if it's still there. But there was a guy, the flea market had outdoor booths that you could rent for that given week, but it also had indoor booths that were permanent. And it was a guy that sold records there.
Oh, wow.
And I never even knew the guy's name, but we knew each other enough through that relationship of customer and vendor. And so some of the records I have, he would say, do you know this? He goes, you got to hear that. Take it home. Yeah, if you like it, if you don't like it, bring it back next week,
Yeah, or give you whatever, couple bucks for it.
Yeah. So that was a good outlet for me because that turned me on to some things that, I wouldn't have maybe come across, otherwise. And the other one, which is totally not local at all, but it's entirely corporate, was back in the day, there was something called the Columbia House Record Club.
Yeah,
Columbia, I don't know if you know
mail
that.
Order.
Yeah, it was mail
CDs
order, so as corporate as can be. But they would entice you to join by saying, 99 cents, you get 12 free records.
Yeah.
Of course, you have this obligation later on, but, you could also play the game. You could join and get your 12 free records, fulfill your obligation, and quit, and then join and get your records. So you do that enough, picking 12 records, looking through their book, you might not have 12 records that you even want. But looking through the book, and these things are coming to you almost for free, you could experiment. You could say, well, that looks cool. And because I was always open-minded, I never looked in just the rock. I looked everywhere.
Yeah.
So Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. Well, that looks cool. As a teenage kid, just the cover and the title is enough to get me into this one,
Yeah.
And, I've found music that way just from being able to experiment. So I wouldn't advocate corporate things like that, but, in my day, that was a way that I just plunged into a lot of stuff that just because it looked interesting.
Yeah.
And so that opened my eyes to Willie Nelson's Red-Headed Stranger or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of not local, but
that's
certainly put a lot of records in my collection.
Yeah. Cool. What is your favorite Rhode Island drink?
Currently, I would have to say, as someone who's partial to IPA beer and have been for a long time, and has experimented with a lot of different ones, there's none better than right here in Rhode Island, down at Gray Sale. They have Captain's Daughter.
Yep.
It's a double IPA, and they've added to their collection by having Little Sister, which is a session IPA. It still has, that unique flavor. And so I would say that's probably my favorite Rhode Island drink.
Cool. With that, what is your favorite Rhode Island place? Like a city, town, a neighborhood, a chunk of woods out in Foster?
Well, if you had asked me when I lived out in Foster, I would say right here. My house right here with the woods in the back. And,
out in Foster.
And I never would have imagined that I'd willingly move from Foster to Pawtucket.
Yeah.
But circumstances brought me here, and since I've been here, I love this neighborhood. Cool. So we're near Slater's Park. And, after living in Foster for 25 years, it was great, walk out in the woods, but you're not really walking anyplace else.
Yeah.
you're not walking to the corner store.
Yeah.
So, at this point in my life, to have so much convenience around us, have our family around us, surrounded by great restaurants, walk into Slater's Park and walk to get my hair cut. I would say Darlington and Pawtucket is my favorite place right now.
Nice. What is your favorite Rhode Island pizza?
That, and again, surrounded by pizza. But right now, I would have to say Uncle Tony's.
Oh, yeah?
The combination of Uncle Tony's dough and they've got a really flavorful sauce.
Yeah.
When we get pizza, that's where
Going to Uncle Tony's. Cool. And what is your favorite Rhode Island event? That
would have to be, and as much as I love, I'm so happy that we've got, the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame and the Bluegrass Hall of Fame. Those Hall of Fame events are great. The different Rhode Island Bluegrass other events, the picnic and the holiday party. I love all those things, but the Cajun Bluegrass, which is now the Rhythm and Roots Festival, I would have to say is the one for several reasons, because of the amount of friends that we can count on to show up every year. And not only do we enjoy hanging around camp and just hanging out, but almost everyone plays something. So there's music happening in camp from the first person waking up at 6 or 7 in the morning until the last person going to bed at whatever time.
4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah. And then just some of the history to it. Like I said, that was my connection to meeting Greg Andriozzi, which, started my Friday night, was my first jamming experiences, where I bought the book to learn how to play harmonica, so.
Yeah.
Aside from what it does, what I get out of it now every year, the history makes it special.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Paul.
All right. Thank you, James. It's been a pleasure.
We were whooping her out from the docks, singing, "Where, roll and go. You pretty young girls come with Phil in flocks, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh. Goodbye to all you girls of this town. Where, roll and go. Left you enough for to buy a silk gown, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh. Goodbye to Sally now, goodbye to Sue, singing where, roll and go. All of you other girls, goodbye to you, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh. We're sick of the show and our money's all gone. Where, roll and go. We signed on this package to drive her along, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh. So Bristol's police now heave her at will. Where, roll and go. Soon we'll be driving her up off the hill, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh. Our anchors are waiting, the wind's drawing free. Where, roll and go. Get the glad rags on her and head off to sea, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh. Around Cape Horn we all must go. Where, roll and go. Around Cape Stiff in the cold rain and snow, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh. We all must go around the Horn. Where, roll and go. You wish to the Lord you had never been born, singing rollickin' randy dandy, oh.